Pitchfork's biggest cultural impact this year was making the Swifties mad on Twitter, and this is the clearest sign of where traditional music criticism stands right now. Dead in the water! When a website that once crowned entire genres is now only visible through the smokescreen of a stan war, you are witnessing their decay in authority. This decay is not accidental, by the way, or because attention spans are getting shorter. It's the same reason why legacy media in general continues to die a protracted glacial death. The gatekeepers choose irrelevance because they're too proud, too nostalgic, and too snobbish to follow the culture where it actually went. What does this have to do with Pitchfork rage baiting the Swifties? They're desperate. They are barely clearing 500,000 page views. We are watching their denial to follow the culture in real time. Their business model still centers around a misguided belief. The written word on a website is the sacred center of music criticism, and the discourse universe will collapse unless we have 1,000-word essays with a neat decimal score at the end. Meanwhile, the audience, the real one, not the imaginary intellectual elite they write for, left years ago. People are watching 30-minute video essays while folding laundry. They're arguing in Discord channels. They're on TikTok. They're on YouTube, in live streams, with critics who have faces, voices, tells, sometimes biases, not just bylines. All the things that traditional critics have, but with a face put to the name. And you know what's funny? I was literally interviewed in The Atlantic about this shift overall in medium in traditional criticism. Spencer Kornhaber wrote a whole essay about how the center of gravity has moved from institutions to individuals. Criticism isn't dying, the audience just migrated to digital creators. And then in the same piece, Pitchfork's new editor-in-chief gives this quote: "The written word is still the most important way of thinking about music. And when you're doing criticism as a YouTuber, you're a YouTuber." It is genuinely adorable in a tragic, out-of-touch way that the Pitchfork editor-in-chief thinks the distinction between writer and YouTuber is very real. These are not mutually exclusive categories. My channel exists because I can write, because I came from reporting, from editing, from doing the real labor of the written word. I didn't abandon that skill set, I adapted it. I am literally reading you an essay I wrote right now. I combine writing, hosting, editing, performance, and actual point of view into one medium, a medium that people actually consume. So when they clutch their pearls about the written word, they're not defending a real process. They're defending a fantasy version of Pitchfork that died years ago. And ironically, while they're lecturing everyone else about purity, their big plan to save themselves, as they mentioned in this article, is a pivot to video. The jokes write themselves. Suddenly, the site of serious writing is doing monthly on-camera critic segments. So video criticism is unserious unless you do it. Why is that? Well, I pulled 3 million views this month with an average view duration of 30 minutes per video and 500 hours of watch time. Fantano probably doubled that. A charitable estimation of how many page views Pitchfork got in this last month is maybe 600,000 views, and the bounce rate and visit times to websites are looking at sub 5 minutes these days. Video is not the kiddie table, it's the table. So when Pitchfork sparks a stan war to try and squeeze out 10,000 hate clicks, that is the last gasp of them trying to convince themselves that they still matter. Pitchfork had a lot to say about Katy Perry's Woman's World in their review, but they kind of have a lot more in common than they might like to admit. Disastrously out of touch with the cultural conversation and very, very cringe.